Let's be real, we are all drowning in information. So today, we're going to build a toolkit, one that will help you read faster, think a whole lot smarter, and actually feel in control of the information coming at you every single day.
Does this feel familiar? Your to-read list is just out of control. It's a mountain of articles, books, social media posts, you name it. It all just keeps piling up, and you're left wondering, when am I supposed to have time for all this?
And then there's the other side of the coin, which is maybe even more stressful. It's not just about the sheer amount of stuff to read. It's how do you know what's actually true? Who can you trust? It's a double whammy. Too much information, and a lot of it is questionable. Okay, so let's tackle this head on. Before we can even start thinking about what's true or false, we've got to find a way to manage the flood. And that starts with learning how to read, well, more efficiently. Now, this requires a pretty big shift in how we think about reading. See, we were all taught in school to read every single word, right? From the first page to the last. But efficient reading, that's a whole different ballgame. It's about being strategic, about pulling out the big ideas fast to decide if something is actually worth your time. And let's get one thing straight right now. This is not cheating. Seriously, in the world we live in, it's a survival skill. It is literally impossible to read every word of everything. The goal isn't just to finish a text. It's to understand it and get what you need from it. So how do we actually do it? Well, it boils down to a super simple 3-step process. You survey, you skim, and you scan. Just think of these as your first line of defense, your initial filter for any piece of writing you come across. Here's how it works. First, you survey. This is your 30-second overview to answer the question, what is this even about? You're just looking at the title, the headings, maybe the first and last paragraphs. It's like looking at a map before you start a road trip. Next, you skim. Here you're trying to find the main argument. Just read the first sentence of each paragraph. This gives you the gist, the core message. And finally, you scan. This is like using a search function for your brain. You're hunting for specific keywords, names, or dates. Altogether, these 3 moves let you triage information like a pro, and incredibly fast. All right, so you've used your new reading skills to filter things down, and you've found an article that seems worth your time. Now comes the big question. Is it legit? Can you actually trust it? For that, we need our second tool, a powerful little method for fact-checking called SIFT. Now, you might have learned about older methods in school, like the CRAAP checklist. The problem with those old tools is that they basically ask you to judge a source by what it says about itself. That just doesn't fly anymore. The new way, SIFT, is built for the chaos of the modern web. It forces you to get out of the article and see what the rest of the world is saying about it. And this is absolutely crucial. Why? Because these days, anyone, literally anyone, can make a website look professional and trustworthy. So taking a source at face value is just a huge risk. SIFT gives you a few quick moves to get the real story behind the information you're seeing. SIFT was created by a digital literacy expert named Mike Caulfield, and it stands for 4 really simple moves. Stop, investigate the source, find better coverage, and trace the information back to the original. So let's say you're scrolling and you see a headline that says, "Scientists discover chocolate cures the common cold." Your first instinct might be to celebrate, right? But is it true? I know that might sound like another tedious checklist, but in practice, it's ridiculously fast. Let's just walk through that chocolate claim and see how SIFT works in the real world. Okay, the absolute most important step, the one you always start with, is the first one. Just stop. Before you react, before you get excited about that chocolate news and share it, just pause for 1 second. Ask yourself, do I recognize this website? Is this a name I know and trust, or is it something totally random? That tiny pause is everything. It stops that emotional gut reaction and kicks your brain into gear. And here's the cool part. After you stop, you don't have to do the other steps in order. You do whatever is fastest. For a chocolate story, you could investigate the source. Maybe a quick search reveals that healthynews.biz is a known peddler of fake science. Or, even faster, you could just find better coverage. Pop open a new tab, type in "chocolate cures cold," and see what comes up. You'll almost certainly see results from major health organizations saying, no, that's not a thing. See how quick that was? You're done. You didn't have to read the whole bogus article or track down the original study. All it took was stopping for a second and then doing one other 30-second move. Find. And boom, you have your answer. SIFT is a flexible toolkit, not some rigid exam you have to pass.
So now we have our two power tools. Let's put them together and see how they create a complete, streamlined system for dealing with information.
I absolutely love this analogy. Think of it like your email. Your efficient reading techniques, survey, skim, and scan, that's your spam filter. It automatically clears out all the junk, the noise, the stuff that's just not important. Then, for the few messages that actually make it into your main inbox, SIFT is your deep virus scan. It checks to make sure what's left is safe, reliable, and not trying to trick you.
But at the end of the day, this is about more than just learning a few tricks. It's really about shifting your entire mindset. The whole point is to engage with evaluation as an ongoing process, to make these habits so natural that you don't even have to think about them. It's just how you read things now.
So really, the question isn't, do I have time for this? It's, how can I afford not to? You have the tools now. So what are you going to look into first? What website, what claim, what piece of information are you going to put to the test?